we had to delay the implementation. But for 2025, what is supposed to come to the ministry for implementation is 1.5 million. 2026 was supposed to come to the ministry for the project is 6.7 million. 2027, 17.8 million. 2028, 26.4 million, and then 2029, 27.2 million. You see the heavier funding support will come to support the building of the schools and the other rollout of the various activities that's aligned with the program, with the project. But you'll see that.
Is that the grant you're talking about?
No, it's both.
Both?
It's both.
I didn't hear 88.
Say that again?
The total should accumulate to 88.
Correct. Because we still have some that extend up to 2031. Some of the funding that goes to the project management area as well as some of them.
Well, the project carries the information that is for 5 years.
Correct.
Then, if it is going beyond, how do we treat that?
I can certainly provide additional information to you on that. But what I wanted to just have the public and the country know, 88.7 million are coming to the Ministry of Education tomorrow. Yeah, so I just wanted to make that clarification.
Yeah, but the point here again, in project implementation, we have to be very careful. Because once you surpass the project year, there are other requirements you have to go through, or maybe they will call for cost extension free, or free cost extension. So we would like to understand under which dispensation is being discussed that will go beyond the 5 years. You know, we ask all of these questions because you see that the first time we call you, the second time we call you, our emphasis was on the breakdown per year. Look at what happened now. How do we argue? We're going to recognize it. Of course, we hope to make some corrections, but your ceiling is at the same as that of this year for 2026. So is it because of the RIs like you are explaining? Not RIs will excel? No. This is what we understand. If you are giving us this information, long time we would have had a discussion with the Minister of Finance, and maybe corrective measures should have been in place. So if you are coming here, the information we request is for the sake of the public. You know, all these beautiful things you explain, capitation, this, that, our people out there will not understand it. And so the question from Honorable Jones about numbers, right? If you say you're going to do volunteer teachers on payroll, we know there are processes to qualify those teachers. Those who meet the benchmark will be the one. But just for the sake of the Liberian people, say 30 teachers in Margibi, 20 teachers in Monrovia, 105 teachers in Maryland. They were qualified. With that, we can pass the information easily to our people. With that of the PSRP, the school renovation, 2 schools in Maryland, 10 schools in Monrovia because they be, and maybe 25 schools in Grand Group because those schools there. Yeah. Then it's easy to, translate to our people. That is what the questions are about. Thank you.
So with that, I can submit that because we do have that ready, and it was submitted to your office. The Excel yearly breakdown, Honorable Presiding, was submitted to your office prior to our coming, several days prior to our coming. So that, because you requested that from our previous 6 months. So, but we submitted that. But to your point about the number of schools benefiting from the volunteer teachers, we have that readily available, and we can share that by county. How many counties receive volunteer teachers that will transition to payroll, down to the school that they were placed in. The HR has that documentation, and when we get back to our office today, we can forward that today.
Thank you. Fellow police, we Honorable Samson, give preference to the colleague. Sam, and then the first 3, Samson, Sam, and DC, honorables.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Presiding. Thank you, Presiding. Madam Minister, we all say great presentation. And from what I see, I know that this is not my first time interacting with you. You've come with extraordinary zest to this job.
Observation,
Notwithstanding,
honorable observation is a preferred motion.
Mr. Chair, fellow colleagues, I'm coming in on a point of observation owing to the fact that at the commencement of this hearing, of the entire expenditure hearing, our motion carried that at every hearing, the sector chairman of that particular institution should be present. So I want the record to carry that the committee chairs for every sector should be in a hearing. So we have MOE appearing, and we want the record to carry that the chairman on education should be in his hearing. That's my point of observation. Thank you.
Well noted. Continue.
notwithstanding, Madam Minister, considering the huge challenges that the education sector is faced, most times if we have this interaction, I get blindfolded. And why am I blindfolded? Because if I think about what is happening beyond Monrovia, in the rural terrains, and it gets us to understanding that we need to do more. Madam Minister, we'll be taking report to our people just to get me on track. Did I hear you saying that there's a plan now to construct 50 secondary schools in your presentation? Science labs. Good. Do you care to share with us where those science labs will be erected, the location? In addition, did I hear you saying you have now 2,000 volunteers who have been placed on the payroll? To follow up with that, just to say thank you, but to also ask you, what are you doing to control attrition? Because for as many years, we saw people being placed on the payroll, and most times they were using the payroll to just go for another thing in the society. So what plan have you to control attrition? You made mention of an incentive package for rural teachers in your presentation. Except that there was no breakdown or what you envisioned as it relates to that incentive package. Do you care to explain what it encompasses and how attractive you think we want to see it? Madam Minister, I know you made mention of the fees being collected, but I still think it's good to be telling us how much is being generated annually from these fees. The next is, there's a huge infrastructure challenge, more especially in Sino. The schools are all run up, they are all makeshifts, and even those of the schools that were modernized for as many years ago, we still see ourselves working with the education sector to carry on renovation. If you have a plan as it relates to improving infrastructure, please do everything to share with this legislature. Because all of us here, we are in the business of building schools or renovating schools, so we know where to direct our funding or our resources. Thank you, Madam Minister.
Oh, go ahead with your question. Then we see the issue. Go with your question. Then you see they will stop.
All right, thank you very much, Chair.
CPR will be the last.
All right, so I'm not going to do plenty narration so that I go straight to the question. Madam Minister, thank you. When I heard you mention per town, Only county census report is 133,700 per person. Now, if you look at the number of schools and the population relating in terms of school-going age, I can tell you that Burma is crying. Now, let me speak specifically to my district, saying I got one colleague here. There are 66 government schools in my district. Of those 60 government schools, in terms of structure, we can count up to 20%. 2 high schools only. No vocational center, nothing. So here are a few questions I want to ask. One will be on policy issue. What can you say in terms of boarding school system for the poor part of the country? I say this to me that in district number 3, when you see a primary school in a location, sometimes the closest village there is like at least an hour walk. I'm saying primary. I'm not even saying secondary or senior, primary. So you're talking about children under the age of 10. Because of that, it's affecting the enrollment. So I really have interest. I want to do. You see, sometimes they always say there's a difference between legality and expediency, and sometimes you look at the condition. So I want to know your view on that. The next thing is the real teacher incentive that you spoke about that he mentioned. And I'm interested in knowing detail. What is the incentive you mentioned? Is it just on remuneration? Because I'm one of those who say the issue of teacher quarter or teacher center is an issue for the rural part. That's why we're not getting the kind of teacher. I got only 2 high schools in my district. It's going to the 6th year and they have not had graduation. Because they don't have those students going through the military education requirement of passing the government exam. As I speak to you now, we are about to end the first semester. The China Institute will make out.
The chairman, order. We here for
Order.
We not explain everything.
Why were you not recognized by the chairman before speaking?
Yes. Order. Order. Go ahead with the order. Restate your order.
Order here is that Honorable Jala, we have the book here, almost all of the issues they're asking. Honorable Jala, the issue quite addressing almost all of the councils. Let us focus on what is before us. Direct our question in line.
And you think what I'm saying is not an issue of focus? No, I'm coming. Let me engage it.
I'll think about it.
This is Bomi Kame speaking.
Order. Wait. Listen, gentlemen.
All right. No problem.
For is a weather.
Listen to the chair.
Yeah, chair, go ahead.
We have, I think, about 6 observations.
Mr. Presiding, colleagues, Mr. Presiding, as far as the working of the legislature is concerned, the legislature works through committee. Yeah, but again, for coordination, we allow some of our colleagues who are now out of the PAC or a Westminster and Finance to be a part of the hearing. But that does not mean that when our colleagues come, they should try to derail, let's say, the process. More besides, legislative practice requires the chairperson or the presiding to have authority over the sitting. So if an individual or a member raises a concern, that concern should be left to the description of the presiding whether to sustain or not to sustain.
Thank you.
So again, let us please pay attention to the gabble
Thank you.
so that we can not derail the process. So, Mr. President, that's my
That's very
submission.
wise.
Okay,
Thank you.
sustain. Let me just bring some sanity to the discussion. Like I was proceeding, we have more than, I think, about 6 entities to appear today. Ministry of Education is the first. If you look at our time, it's almost 2 o'clock. Since we started, all of the deliberations have been starting late and we've been leaving from here after 6 p.m., which is not good. So, what I'd like to say is we are dwelling on expenditure. With all due respect to the Honorable Jala and to the people of Bomi, you are here to represent them, and we ought to listen to you. But let us just keep to the expenditure issues, because problems, challenges, issues around education and other matters in this country are huge. If we try to settle them at the table, we're not finished. And that is why we asked the minister to be very specific in in her presentation about what she received for 2025, what she wants for 2026. We cross-examine. We have the power to say yes, we increase it, or yes, we reduce it. So let's keep to that aspect so that we can save some time and deal with all of those that are invited today. Proceed, Honorable Jala.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just from your explanation, it means that I'm on track. I only permit my question. Thank you. So, Madam Minister, so I want to say the issue of
You are protected.
how far are we on the Vietnam school? I got interest because I heard about the Vietnam school, but at the moment, based on my own assessment that I made, there are work that I stopped. So I want to know how far the ministry, because that's going to be a high school in a part of my district that is not accessible to students and have a huge number of school age children. The next question is, are there plans for those volunteer teachers that you refer to as unqualified? Because like you said, some of them that we've met, they will tell you they've been there like 10, 15 years. For your assessment, according to the report that you made, we are appealing and we are asked, what plans? Are there plans for them? Are there plans by the ministry to make them meet the level that will have them sustain the system? Let me use the time to say thank you for the opportunity, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Kisi. Then the Minister will respond.
Thank you very much, presiding, co-presiding, colleagues, and witnesses. Let me begin by saying thanks for the presentation. I have 2 questions. And the question goes to the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Education. I saw something in the budget for 2 schools in Lofa. To be specific, the Kolawu Central High and the Vanjama Multilateral High School. And then the enrollment of the Kolawu Central High is about 650 students. And then the Vanjama Multilateral High School has an enrollment of 1,750 students. But I saw the Kolawu Central High with 100,000 allotment in that budget. Why Kolawu, why Multilateral is 40,000? How did you put very rough at that?
Thank you.
That's one question. Yeah. The second question is, do you have money in the budget for renovation of schools? If yes, there are schools in my district. There are schools in my district. 5 schools got this storm. The roof by the violent storm. I have ran behind the military said April. To understand, you got almost 82 students in one class at the Vanyama Public School. And Monrovia told me in Visa almost impossible. least to talk about whether Ibra and the multilateral high school.
That's what we have to.
So if we have any money in the budget for renovation, what is stopping this ministry?
Okay, to the second
For renovating?
question, Honorable, there's
Please.
1.9 is there. So we asked the minister to give us a breakdown per county. So, Minister, I hope this is just about the same question that was asked previously. So before you answer yes, this is what we said. We requested her. She said she will provide it. She said it.
No, but she said she would do it now.
If she has it now, fine. Nobody stop her. And I said, Honorable Speaker, and I said, she has it now, she can provide it, but she can also provide up to tomorrow by noon. Let her provide, she's here. Yeah, information.
So the 1.9 on renovation and rehabilitation is for 2026. It's not for 2025. So it's something that he intends to implement in 2026.
Thank you. Information sustained. So, all those people are coming to you so you can have your day. Let us draw.
Inquiry, I mean information. My information is there was money allocated in the budget for 2024-2025. If yes, for renovations,